Say, kids, what time is it? Ho, 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 ho! Oh, well, howdy doody, kids, and howdy, Buffalo Bob. Well, howdy there, Mr. Doody, and boys and girls and kids here in the gallery, let's go! It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. What's this and howdy do? Say howdy do to you. Let's give a round and cheer. Cause howdy doody here. It's time to start the show. So kids, let's go! Ha! Good, kids. Boy, I certainly hope that all you kids spent your weekend having lots of fun. But gosh, Buffalo Bob and I, boy, oh boy, we spent the whole weekend staring at 9 midget-sized Indian tents. Yes, you're right, Howdy, and kids, these tents. 9 little tents here that came out of Chief Thunderthud's tube. Chief Thunderthud, the number 2 chief of the Aragnacs. Aragnacs. How do you like that, kids? In all my life, I never heard such a name. Silly, crazy names like Aragnac. Look at this, kids. The name of Chief Thunderthud's tribe. What a silly name, Aragnac. A name that nobody ever heard of, incidentally. The Featherman, the Princess, 2 Indians who know practically every Indian tribe in the world. Neither one of them ever heard of the Aragnacs. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, and you know, Buffalo Bob, as the princess said, boy, oh boy, we've heard of the Tinkatonkas and the Choctaws and the Navajos and Chippewas, but we heard of all the rest, but no one ever heard of the Aragnacs. Nobody. Just nobody. Yeah, and if you think that's ridiculous, Howdy, how about this thing, kids? The tube. T-E-N-T-E-N-T-O-T-U-B-E, tube, 12 letters. A word that no one ever before heard of. A silly word. Matter of fact, it's a difficult word. So difficult that Chief Thunderthud himself has trouble saying the word.
It's no difficult. Tube.
Wait a minute, Chief. Hey, wait. No, Clarabelle, wait now. Clarabelle, look. Forget about him. Just forget about him. Let him go. He'll be back, Clarabelle. Don't worry. Well, you're right, but boy, I guess Thunderthud must have overheard everything we said, Buffalo Bob, but, well, actually, it doesn't matter. There's only one thing that matters, kids, and that is that we have to figure out what this thing is. An Indian village here with 9 tents. Oh, gosh, what a funny-looking gadget. Yeah, Howdy, and the funny-looking gadget came from this funny-looking thing with a funny name, the tube. Tube. Buffalo Bob, wait a minute, Jiminy Cricket. I think I got it. Got what, Howdy? I think I got part of the answer, or maybe it's the whole answer. Now, look, it's all so simple. Why didn't we think of it before? Well, what is it, Howdy? What is it? Well, now, look. Now, this Indian village with the 9 tents, it came out of the tube, didn't it, Clarabelle? All right, now, listen. I'm going to say the name slowly. Now, we've been saying it fast like this. Tube. But now, Clarabelle, listen to it slowly. Tent, a tube. See? 10, tent, a tube. 10, tent, a tube. 10, tent, a tube. 10, tent, a tube. A thing that makes tents. A big thing that makes 10 tents. A big tube. A big tube that makes 10 tents. The 10 tube. That's right, Buffalo Bob, and the tube is a big tube, a big house that makes 10 tents. And this gadget right down here has 9 tents. And if Thunderthud is making tents in the tube, then there's only one more tent to go, and the tube will have made 10 tents. And if you see, Buffalo Bob, it's already made 9 of them. Say, Howdy is right, kids. The 10-tented tube is evidently a machine for making tents. And there's only one more tent to go. But then what, kids? What are the 10 tents for? Now, why is Chief Thunderthud making them? What possibly is he going to do with them? Look, Clarabelle, I got an idea. I think that you and I ought to take this 10-tented tube back someplace and hide it before Thunderthud comes back here, okay? Come on, we'll push it back here. That's the way. Now, we'll get it back here, and we'll forget about it. Now Thunderthud won't be able to get at it. Howdy Doody, was that a good idea? Very good idea, Buffalo Bob, and I'll tell you something else that I've been thinking of. I'm going to call Chief Featherman, and I'm going to tell him exactly what we've figured out about the 10-tented tubes, and then, Buffalo Bob, I'll bet you that he'll be able to help us. A good idea. Very, very good idea, Howdy. Say, meantime, while Howdy's trying to get in touch with the Featherman kids, it's old-time movie time. Come on in, all you boys and girls. Would you like to see an old-time movie, kids?
Yeah!
Okay, then here we go with our buddy Charlie Chase. Now, if you kids remember, we started to show you the beginning of this movie last Friday. Now, Charlie Chase received a telegram. He lived in Lydia Dockey's boarding house. Remember Lydia Dockey's boarding house? Well, Charlie and all the guests were having dinner one evening. Charlie received a telegram. So Lydia Dockey brought the telegram, and the telegram told Charlie that he was immediately to go to the railroad station because there was a present for him. Who knows what that present was? How about this little fella? What's your name, Sonny? All right, Johnny, tell me, well, what was the present that Charlie was to receive? 5 bulldogs. Very, very good, Charlie. That's right. Charlie Chase was to receive 5 bulldogs, and right now, Charlie is on his way to the radio station. Or railroad station, pardon me. Radio station. Charlie, however, is having a little bit of trouble. He borrowed Herman Dryer's car. Remember Herman Dryer's Model T Ford, kids? Well, he had a little bit of trouble with it. It seems that it was stuck in the mud. Oh, and Charlie tried to get some help here. One of the fellows was coming by. I think that's, who is that fellow in the car? Oh, you know who that is, kids. You know who that is? One of the Tons of Fun. What's his name? Bullets. That's Bullets from the Tons of Fun. That's right. So Bullets came along with his Model T, and he tied a rope to Charlie's axle. But look what happened. Only the axle came out and not the car. Isn't that awful? So Bullets and Charlie are standing there trying to figure out how, in the name of heavens, are they going to be able to take that car out of there. So Charlie says, so it shouldn't be a total loss. I'll have a swim. Say, kids, while they're getting the automobile out of this ditch, how many of you kids are Giant fans? Well, for heaven's sakes, how many of you are Dodger fans? All right, now, I'll tell you what let's do. All of you in favor of the Giants winning this 3-game series, holler out Giants. Let me hear you.
Giants!
All right, all of you who'd like to see the Dodgers win, holler out Dodgers.
Dodgers!
Huh? Well, that's fine. You kids can stay here today. That's great. Yeah, Clarabelle, I know you're a Dodger fan. Get lost, Dolly. Thank you. You'll have to wait till next year, Clarabelle, but that's all right.
I saw the World Series.
When? Last year?
Yeah.
When?
This year.
This year you saw the World Series? Well, good for you. When was it, Sonny?
I think it was yesterday.
No, honey, it starts Thursday.
What?
It starts this coming Thursday, the World Series starts. See, the Dodgers and the Giants were in a dead heat. They were all tied.
Oh, I must have saw the Phillies in there.
That's what you must have seen, yes. Well, anyway, Charlie's trying to get this... Yes, Sonny. What?
You know what?
What?
I just saw Chief Thunderthud.
You did? Clarabelle, watch Chief Thunderthud, will you please? Keep your eye on him. Don't let him go near the 10-tented tube. Anyway, here's Charlie and Bullets. I guess Charlie has got the car fixed. So he says, well, we're going to try it again. So Charlie wades down there in the mud. He ties the rope. onto the car, and he says, "Okay, Bullets, let her go." So Bullet starts up his car, but oh, look what he did. He pulled the axle off of his car. Now, isn't that awful? Gee, poor Charlie is never going to get those bulldogs over at the railroad station. So I said, "Well, fellas," he said, "look," he said, "you just stay here." He said, "I'm going to hop this streetcar and see if I can't get over to the railroad station." Charlie got on the trolley, but he noticed that it was going the wrong way. So a policeman wants to give Charlie a ticket here for parking too next to a hydrant, too close to a hydrant. Now here Charlie has arrived at the railroad station. He said, "Here's a telegram, sir." He says, "I'm to pick up a very, very important parcel." The fellow says, "I'm very sorry." He said, "Be with you in a minute." "What is this?" Well, there was a lion inside that cage.
Oh, God.
And they made a mistake. Instead of getting 5 bulldogs, what do you think Charlie got? A lion. Yes, sir, kids, that's the end of that movie, but now we got another one coming right up here at you. Here is a movie of a violinist. Now, I'm not sure what this fella's name is. I wonder, any of you kids know of anybody who plays a violin? Any of you kids in the peanut gallery play a violin? Oh, here, how about you, Sonny?
Oh, I play piano.
Oh, you play a piano. What do you play, Sonny?
A recording.
You play a recordion? All right, that's fine. What's your name? What is your name, Sonny?
Michael.
Michael, and what do you play?
A recording.
Recordion. What's a recordion, Michael?
A recording of what you play.
Oh. And then you play it? How do you play the recordion?
I don't know.
Do you play it under your chin, or do you plug it in, or what do you do?
You put the wire around your neck, and then you push the buttons, and then a song comes.
You better say that again, Michael. That's a little involved. How do you play this recordion?
You push one of those buttons, and then a song comes.
Uh-huh.
And then when
You said it's something about a wire? You put the wire where?
you don't put any wire.
Oh, I thought you put a wire around your neck.
No, you don't.
Oh. But you play a recordion. All right, fine. I never met a recordion player. Now I have. Anyway, we'll call this fellow Michael, because your name is Michael, okay? All right? You see, when you shake your head, Mommy can't hear it. So you must say yes, okay?
Yes.
Attaboy. All right. So here's the recordion player, Michael. And Michael is practicing his violin. And he's practicing it on a park bench. Now, a policeman is coming by here, and the policeman says, "Don't you know that you're not supposed to play recordions in the park bench?" And Michael says, "Well, I'm very, very sorry, officer." He said, "I just happened to have this violin with me, and it was a beautiful day, and I took a walk," and he said, "I thought I'd play it." The policeman says, "Incidentally, where is my hat?" So Michael says, "Well, I'm sorry, officer. I don't know. I don't know who has your hat." So the policeman said, "Did you take my hat?" He says, "Why, no, absolutely not." He says, "Look here. See, I haven't your hat." So the policeman says, "Well, now that's funny." He says, "Here, give me your umbrella. Maybe it's inside the umbrella." So it wasn't inside the umbrella. Oh, did you see what happened? Michael sat on the hat, and now the hat dropped onto the handle of the umbrella. Now, the policeman thinks that Michael took the hat, but actually he didn't. Now, the policeman happened to knock it off of the umbrella without knowing it, and the hat is right there at the end of the park bench. Now, here comes Lizzie Schmutzler. Remember Lizzie Schmutzler? She was in one of the movies here a while ago. Lizzie Schmutzler happened to be walking in the park, and she says, "Ah, I sat on something." And the policeman says, "So you did, my hat." This movie, I think, got honorable mention there for the Academy Awards back in 1907 for having the fewest laughs in it, I think. This man here, this man on the right, this is Adolf Wollenschlager. Remember Adolf?
Yes.
Well, now, Adolf, he has a hobby of collecting skeleton heads. It's quite a lovely hobby, actually. He goes to these museums and he buys skeleton heads and then he talks to them. He pretends that they're real people. And he has this skeleton head there, and he's talking to it and singing to it. Isn't that a silly hobby, kids? It's kind of silly. I'd much rather go out and take my 23 killer with my chestnuts and go out and have fun with it. Do you kids save chestnuts? Do you have chestnut wars? Do you? What's your name, Sonny?
Phil Barrowman.
Oh, Phil, do you ever have any chestnut wars?
Yep.
How many killers you got home?
Oh, about 900.
You got a 900 killer? No fooling. Have you really? You know what you do, Lois? Let me see after the show. I got a couple of 23 killers. I'll trade you for it, all right? Huh?
Okay.
Okay? All right, Phil.
Tomorrow I'll bring my new rifle and I'll shoot King Thunderson in the stomach.
Oh, that would be very nice, Sonny. No, use a bow and arrow. Westchester County. Well, what?
Well, I don't have a sharp one.
Oh, well, that's all right. We'll just shoot him with the rubber one, okay? All right. So anyway, Michael here, the accordion player, he has still decided that he is going to practice in the park bench regardless of who comes by.
Oh, home.
What?
Home I'm going to play it.
Home, you're going to play what?
The recording.
Oh, the accordion. Yeah, but Michael here is playing in the park bench, you see. And, oh, look what he did. Broke one of the strings on the accordion. Did you see that?
No. I know our cat with.
So anyway, kids, this man who just came by here happens to be a manager of a theater. And this manager of the theater has rented this space in the park to put on a show. Now, we'll show you what happens tomorrow, okay? I did want to find out here how many of you boys and girls are Dodger fans and how many are Giant fans. Now, what are you? Hey! Oh, hey, excuse me just a minute, kids. Well, fellas, boys and girls, I want you to meet a very, very good friend of mine. This is Mr. Steve Heacock, and Steve is with the rodeo over at Madison Square Garden. Right. Hi, Steve.
All right, Bob.
Certainly good to see you. You know, kids, Howdy Doody and I went to the rodeo on opening night last Wednesday night over here at Madison Square Garden. And we saw the most wonderful calf roping, and tell us what you all did over there. You had some terrific bronco riding.
A lot of bronco riding, bull riding.
Bull riding, yes,
bull
sir.
And everything.
And here was a fella who did sensationally in that calf roping contest. Gee, you really do that pretty neat there, Stevie.
Gotta have a little luck.
Oh, luck and a lot of that muscle, you know. Kids, I'll tell you something else. We saw Steve do some tricks with the rope like I've never seen before. And Howdy and I invited Steve Heacock over here today to meet and greet all you kids and to show you some of the tricks that these boys do in the rodeo. So, Steve, I see you're all equipped here with all your ropes and everything. Suppose you tell us what you're going to do so the kids can get home and take Mommy's laundry line and try to do it, all right?
Well, I'll just
And then I'll get shot by all the mothers in the morning. You go ahead and show me here, Steve. Kids, this is something now. You watch. What's this one, Steve?
That's what you call a little butterfly.
That's a butterfly, I see.
Now, this is the lazy butterfly.
See, doesn't that look like a butterfly, kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Butterfly on the wing, huh? Now, kids, don't take Mommy's laundry rope and try this when you get home, will you?
No.
No. Kids, you notice how he can make the loop larger or smaller as he wishes? He wishes to make it larger. Oh, hey, my name is Alice. Where's Clarabelle? Clarabelle is watching. He's trying to learn this, kids. Now watch. All right, let's go. Thank you very much, Steve. What do we got now? 2 ropes. 2 hands.
2 hands, 2 ropes.
How do you like that? Never loses a beat. Very, very good. Atta boy. Thank you very, very much, Steve. Say, I understand that you have calf roping over there. Is that right?
That's right.
Do you ever do any calf roping yourself?
Once in a while, yeah.
You
Sure.
do?
Yeah.
Gee, you know, I wish that we had a calf here, because if you had a calf, you'd be able to show the kids how you do the roping. Isn't that right?
That's right.
I only wish that we had... Say, could you pretend that Clarabelle's a calf? Could you rope him?
I believe we could.
Clarabelle, look, I got a little idea for you. Did you know Mr. Steve Heacock here from the rodeo over at Madison Square Garden? Well, now, look, we're going to pretend that you're a calf, and he is going to try to rope you. Huh? Yeah, what do you say? Yeah, come on, Clarabelle. You be... Atta-boy, Steve. Nice going. Hey, wonderful. Atta-boy. Tie him up. Nice going. Thank you, Steve. That's the first time anybody ever did anything like that to Clarabelle. I think it's wonderful. Kids, I think we're going to have Steve come here at the circus, and we're going to have Steve always rope Clarabelle every time he does something nasty. What do you think? Good idea? Yeah! We're going to rope Clarabelle the next time he does a nasty trick. Now, wait a minute, Steve. Wait a minute. Thank you very much, Steve Heacock. Let's give him a nice hand, kids. Come on. Our buddy Steve Heacock from the rodeo over at Madison Square Garden. Well, you know, kids, Howdy said before that he was putting in a call to Chief Featherman, and... Say, I'll bet you that's the Featherman now. Howdy, the telephone. Excuse me, kids. Buffalo Bob Smith speaking. Howdy Doody. Chief Featherman. Oh, wonderful. Yes, we called you. Now, look, we've got some news for you, and it's news about the tentenda tube. First of all, Chief, we found out what the tentenda tube means. Now, you see, look, tenda tube. Thunder Thud is using this to make tents. That's the idea. I knew you'd answer that, Featherman. The answer is 9. He's made 9 tents, 1 more to go. That's right, and then I guess he'll be all finished with the tentenda tube. Oh, and gee, Buffalo Bob, now, I remember hearing Thunder Thud say that as soon as he was finished with the tentenda tube, that the Aragnacks would go on the march. You're right, Howdy. That's right. What do you think we ought to do now, Chief Featherman? All right, Chief, that's exactly what we'll do. Thanks very much. Okay, so long, Chief Featherman, so long. Howdy. Kids, do you know what Chief Featherman just said? He said no matter how tough it may be, we have got to stop Thunder Thud from making that last tent. The 10th tent. We cannot let Chief Thunder Thud get into that tentenda tube. We cannot let him make tent number 10. Oh, the phone again, kids. Excuse me just a minute, please.
This for me, I think. How? This Chief Thunder Thud, number 2 chief of the Ragnak tribe. How? How, number 1 chief of the Ragnak tribe?
He's talking to the number 1 Aragnac again, kids.
How are you, number 1 chief? Good. Thunder Thud, fine. Yes, number 1 chief. I have good news for you. Oh, yes, all our plans are going just the way we figure. How many tents? 9. Yes. Yes, I knew that would make you happy. Yes, I have made 9 of the tents. I only have 1 more to make. I make it today, then we have all 10. Then we be ready. Then we be ready to do... Ready to do... You know what? Yes, number 1 chief. Yes, me go finish work now. Now. How?
Hello! Hello, say something. Hello! Say something. No, he hung up. I thought maybe I could hear his voice, Clarabelle. I thought maybe I could get some kind of information as to who that number 1 Aragnac is. I don't know what I... Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't, Thunder Thud. Atta boy, Howdy. Look, you hold him, Clarabelle, as tight as you can. Right, Howdy Doody? All right, Buffalo Bob. 9/10 are enough. That 10th and last one, no, sir, Thunder Thud, you're not going to make it. You're never going to get into that 10 tube again. You're right, Howdy. Now, Chief, I got to show you a little something. Yes, sir. The great Chief Thunder Thud. Think you're pretty clever, don't you, Chief?
Thunder Thud's smart.
Yes.
Smarter than you ever dreamed.
Yes, you sure are, Chief. You thought you were going to make 10/10 in the 10 tube, huh? And then when the last one was made, you and the #1 Chief were going to start your Aragnaks on the march, huh? Well, Thunder Thud, I'm going to see that things don't go so easily for you. Here's your silly little Indian village over here, and here, Thunder Thud. There. There go your 10/10. You know, kids, we put the end of those 9/10 from the...
Yes, sure, Chuck. Now I've come with news.
Hello, Lanky Lou. Yes, what have you got here?
Pardon me while I get rid of my bearings here. I have news for you.
Well, what's this for?
I have a paper here, Buffalo Bob.
Well, it's a real sheriff's
Yes,
paper,
sir,
kids.
and sheriff of this town, the law is written right on here,
Yeah?
and the law says that we have legal permission, that means real permission, to take those tools I brought in and smash open the 10 tube tomorrow.
Great!
No! No!